We're going to go over the process, and we're going to go over the funnel. Part of this is going to be on the hell's that called? The PowerPoint slide, and the other half is going to be on the internet. So I'm going to pause the video in the middle and show you some other stuff as well. So the process, the whole overview, like what it is that we actually do. I wanted to try to put this down on a slide for you to kind of bring you inside of a Skype call between me and Cameron when we're actually in creative mode, right? This probably happens once a week or so. Not all the things that we come up with actually get out. Most of them don't. But we're always coming up with new ideas, and we're always going through that creative process. So this is kind of how it works, okay? So number one, the first thing that we do is we brainstorm. So Cameron will come up with some crazy idea, or I'll come up with some crazy idea just off the top of my head. Well, why don't we try this? Or why don't we, see if we could do these things or whatever. And then we kind of go back and forth with it. It's almost like an argument, but not really. It's like I throw something out. He says it's dumb. He comes back with something. I say it's dumb. Then he says, well, let's put them both together. Then I say, let's put 3 of these things together. And it kind of like goes back and forth until all of a sudden after like 2 hours, it's like, boom, there it is. And it just happens, and it happens like that all the time. And it works really, really well. And like I said, we do that about once a week or so, and it's spontaneous. We're just talking on Skype about something completely different, because me and Cameron talk every day, most of the time, a couple times a day on Skype about other things. And it just happens. And we brainstorm something out for about 3 hours. It takes us to do the whole thing. After we do that and we have it down on paper, the next thing that we do is we create our main offer outline. Now, a lot of people would be confused by that because when we talked, we said before that, if you watch the video on the page before this, I told you that the entry offers first, right? And that is true. When we go into the funnel next, you'll see that these are actually reversed. But you can't create a good entry if you don't know what the main offer is going to be, right? If you create a great entry point, but you don't have your main offer, you have a risk of not being able to create a main offer off the entry point that you've created. So we start off with the big picture, and then we work down from there. Okay, so we're going to start off with that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our entry outline. Okay, so we have this is usually like a 4-step process or a 5-step process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. That means you're going to say, okay, out of those 5 steps, what's the juiciest one? There's our entry offer. Okay, we're going to break that down into 3 or 4 steps, and we're going to sell that as our entry offer. After we do that, we then go back to the main offer outline and start our creation of the main offer. That comes third. Okay, this is the first time now that we're actually creating anything besides scribbling notes on a piece of paper. This is the first time we're actually putting the audio and video together in this section right here. After we do that, we then go on and we create the entry offer. Now, let's just say there's 5 steps to the main offer, right? We're going to use step 3 as our entry offer. We do not take step 3 from the main offer and just take it out and then put it in the entry offer. Why don't we do that? Because eventually the people who buy the entry offer are going to buy the main offer, and we don't want to give them the same stuff, right? So the easiest way to do it would be just say, hey, listen, we're creating these 5 steps anyway. We're going to create 4 videos for each step anyway. So why not just take the 4 videos in step 3, put another sales page up, and just sell them? That would be the easiest, quickest way to do it. But then your people are going to be like, hey, I already saw this stuff already. I don't want this again, right? So we take the 3rd step in the main offer, or whatever the step is you're going to be putting in your entry. But we're going to go through all this stuff in detail. I'm just giving you the overview here, right? This is just the big picture overview stuff. You take that, and then you create it again in a different way. Okay, so if we're going to do video in the main offer, we're going to do PDF in the entry offer. Or if we're going to do video in the main offer, we're going to do audio only in the entry offer. Right? We're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to maybe add a step or two or put a twist on it a little bit. It's got to be a little bit different, okay, than what you're actually going to be selling them in the main offer. So that's our once we have our topic, this is what happens. Okay, it kind of like in a nutshell. And again, we'll break all these down. As you go through the training, we'll break all this stuff down for you so you understand how to do it. You're going to have, like, you know, stuff to go through and processes to go through on your own so that you'll be able to figure this stuff out for yourself. Okay, and we'll be there to help you through the whole process. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the funnel. This is going to be a two-part process. The first part's going to be on a slide. Second part's going to be on the internet because I couldn't fit it all on one slide. I couldn't even fit it on two slides. And rather than just go through slide after slide after slide of the same thing over and over again, we're just going to do one on the slide and one on the internet so you see everything. Okay? And you're going to get a look at our actual funnel. You're going to actually see inside of our sales funnel. Okay? It's very, very cool. So I'm going to show you inside of that here in a second. So here is the funnel mapped out. This is the first 2 steps of the funnel. The rest of it is going to be on the internet. So step number 1 is an opt-in form. This is where all of our traffic goes. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, no question about it. All of our traffic goes to an opt-in form 95% of the time. The only time it's not going to go into an opt-in form is if we have massive JV push or massive JV traffic behind a launch that we know is going to convert on a sales page. Usually when we have that, we go Warrior Plus right away. If we don't have that massive JV support right from the start, we go straight opt-in form. And that's like 95% of the stuff we do. Most of the stuff we do, you guys never heard of before. Okay, most of the stuff we do, you don't even know is out there. It's on Facebook. It's on LinkedIn, PPC ads. It's all over the place. Right? And that's all being led to an opt-in form. Next, we have the entry offer. So they get put into the opt-in form. We have a 5-part email sequence inside the opt-in form. We will show you how, what all that is the best we can. We have a 5-part email sequence that leads them through the entry offer. The entry offer is presented to them right after they opt in. They have a chance to buy it right then and there. If they don't buy it, we offer them a discount. Okay? If they do buy it, we give it to them. Just that simple, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. If they buy it, we give it to them. If they don't, we offer them a discount. Either way, they're in a 5-part email sequence that's going to keep pushing them the entry offer and the delivery of the entry offer after they've opted in. As they're going through the entry offer, they are being presented the main offer. This does not happen right away. It's usually about a 7-day delay or so. Very key point to understand. Write this down because it's not on any of these slides. The list is segmented here. This is very important. The list is segmented. If somebody opts in and they buy the entry offer right away, we don't want to send them the 5-part email sequence. That would be ridiculous, right? Why would we do that? It would make us look like idiots. If they buy on email 3, we don't want to keep sending them 4 and 5. That would make us look like idiots. So once they buy, they're automatically taken off of one list and put onto another list. When they buy the entry offer and they're getting delivered the entry offer, we then put them on another 5-part email sequence that starts 4 or 5 days after they bought the entry offer that's going to sell them the main offer. Okay? Then once they buy the main offer, they get taken off that and on and on and on. If they don't buy the main offer, 2 things are going to happen. First, they're going to get offered a discount. Okay? Then they're going to get signed up for a webinar. We're going to put them right on a webinar. Even if they don't buy our main offer, we're going to put them on a webinar anyway. We're going to try to sell them something on a webinar. If they do buy it, they get it delivered to them. So whether that's a membership site or whatever, home study thing, usually we don't do that. We usually do membership sites. So they'll be put on a membership site or whatever, and they'll get the stuff. Again, segmentation is key here, okay? They're going to have a 5-part email sequence. Usually some of them are 4, but most of the time it's a 5-part email sequence spread across 10 days. If they buy on email number 2, they have to come off that list and put onto another one. Very easy to set up inside Aweber. All right? It's not that big of a deal. So they're going to get taken off that, and they're going to put onto another one. If you don't do that, your lists are going to be a nightmare. You're not going to know who's who. You're not going to know what's what. So you have to make sure you do that. All right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go onto the internet, and I'm going to show you inside of the rest of the funnel from this point on. All right, so if you remember now, we stopped at the delivery of the main offer. This is what happens next. Okay, so if you look here all the way to the left-hand side of the screen, you see the little green guy with the hand up in the air? That is the audience that purchased the main offer from us, okay? After that happens, they go into what's called a drive to register sequence, which you will see right here. Then the list is segmented into people who registered. You'll see that box next. And the people who are not registered. Then we have what's called a decision tree right here, because we have 3 webinars that we do, 12. These are automated webinars, by the way, guys. And most of this stuff is not in the Make Money Online thing. It's other areas. So we have an automated webinar at 12, an automated webinar at 3. We have an automated webinar at 8. And they have the ability to choose which one they want to go to. Each one of these, click into this, has emails, thank you pages, tags, text messages, voicemails, and on and on and on. All right, get back to my campaign there. After they've registered, they picked their time, they registered, you see here we have a webinar started sequence. Okay, so this leads them up to the sequence, leads them up right up to the start time. Then what we do is we break it down into people who attended and saw the offer, attended and left early, attended, saw the offer, purchased online, attended, saw the offer, didn't purchase online. Okay, this is all done inside of this little thing right here, okay? Then we have left early, didn't buy, go into another sequence. Then we have no show, so they registered, picked their time, got all the emails, didn't come, right? We have a sequence here for the people who didn't come. If you hit the back button on this, it's like deadly. No show. We start the replay, and then we have replay saw offer, replay left early, replay didn't show. Let me explain these to you. Somebody comes to a webinar, and they sit through your whole entire webinar. It's an hour and a half long. They see the offer. They see the buy button at the end. They do not buy from you. They get an entirely different email sequence and an entirely different replay than the people who didn't see the offer and didn't show up. Why? Because if they came to your webinar and they saw the offer and they didn't buy, they know they're being sold something. So you can give them a replay right to the button. So the button shows up right away. If somebody comes to your webinar and they left before the offer was shown, you don't want to show the button at all because they don't know they're being sold anything yet. If they didn't show up, you don't want to show the button at all either because they don't know they're being sold something yet. But if somebody came to the webinar and saw the whole thing and still didn't buy from you, you could send them emails that say, buy it right now. Here's the link. There's only 5 copies left, or we're shutting it down tomorrow night at midnight. Buy it now. Here's the link. You can send them right to the cart. You don't even need to send them to a replay. So it's very important that you segment that out and you break it down. Okay. Now this is Infusionsoft, so it's a little bit different. But Aweber, we have the same thing. It's basically the same thing. It's just not mapped out like this. So I wanted to show you this because this is actually mapped out on this thing. But Aweber is set up exactly the same way. Okay. So then once they see all this stuff, these are all different replay sequences that we have. If you go in here, you see these are all the different emails that come out, tells the time they go and the tags that we apply to them and all that. After that happens, they either purchase or they don't, and then we just tag them with who they were. So they purchase, and then we say, okay, this person purchased, they saw the offer, and they bought. They left early, and they bought anyway. No show, and they left there, because these are all replay purchases, right? If they bought live, they're going to be up here. So what we want to do is we want to break it down on who saw the offer live, didn't buy, went into a replay, got this sequence, and still purchased. We want to break it down into those people into one section, other people who left early and bought anyway, other people who didn't show and bought anyway, and then after that, we take these people and all of these people and put them into what's called a fulfillment sequence, which actually gives them the stuff that we promised. Okay? Very simple. I was kind of being a little sarcastic there. It's obviously highly freaking complicated. It's not that simple, but we're going to walk you through the entire thing and show you how to do it. Again, You will be using Aweber or MailChimp or whatever you have. They're basically all the same thing. A little nuances here and there that are different, but for the most part, they're the same thing. You're going to be using that. It's going to be set up the exact same way. The only difference is you're not going to have this visual thing to look at, but it doesn't matter because it's all done the same way. We just use Infusionsoft because it's the best payment processor out there. It's very good for managing contacts, and we use it for a lot of other things as well, Customer Hub and everything else. So I want to stress the fact, though, you do not need Infusionsoft. You are not going to be using Infusionsoft. You're going to be using Aweber. You're going to be using MailChimp. You're going to be using GetResponse. You're going to be using Constant Contact. Whatever you have, you do not need this. Please don't buy this because it's going to confuse the living crap out of you. The only reason why I'm showing you this is because Aweber doesn't have this graphical interface to show you. If it did, I'd show you in there, but it doesn't. All you'll see in Aweber is a whole bunch of list names. That's it, okay? So here you get to see the picture on like a slide. That's why I wanted to show it to you. All right, so I'm going to pause now. We're going to go back into the slides, a couple other things to go through. All right, so you saw all that, and now you remember what we just went through starts where we ended here. Okay, so they just got delivered the main offer. Then they go into that whole big thing that you just saw. And it's all broken down individually by, if they saw the offer, they didn't see the offer, they attended, they didn't attend, they picked this time but didn't show up. It's all broken down, okay? And we're going to show you guys exactly how to do that. Now, you have two choices. Choice number one is you can watch us on slides and on all that, and you could try it, and you can learn, and you can do it yourself. Or you can actually watch Cameron build out an entire funnel from scratch. Okay. Now, the video that he's going to create for that, or the video that I guess by the time you're watching this, he did create it already. The video that he's creating for that is going to be real, raw, and unedited. And we planned that because we want to make sure that you have a real-time feel of what's going to happen. We wanted it to be like we're sitting there with you, creating it with you. That's what we wanted to do. So the goal of the training that you're going to be getting when you watch Cameron build this funnel out is he does step one, you pause the video, you do it. He does step two, you pause the video, you do it. If you do it that way, by the time you're done, you will have the entire funnel set up and you're never going to have to touch it again. Everything's going to be done. Sales page, upsell pages, downsell pages, delivery pages, membership sites, everything. Plugins, themes, everything is going to be there for you. It's all going to be set up. The only thing you're going to have to do is put in your product instead of ours. That's it. Because he's going to use one of our products and you're going to use one of yours. That's it. Put your sales copy in instead of ours because he's going to use one of our sales pieces and you're going to use yours. But other than that, it's the same thing. If Cameron can upload a YouTube video or embed a YouTube video into a membership site, you just take your YouTube video and do it the same way he did it, right? It doesn't really make that much of a difference. But he's going to walk you through the entire process of how to do it. Intensive training, advanced training, but once you do it one time, you never have to set it up again. And you can always go back to his video if you wanted to create another funnel for yourself or a client or for whoever, right? If you want to do something else, you can do it. So you can click the buy button below and you can watch Cameron set up the entire funnel from start to finish. The price is next to nothing. I don't know what it is, 20, 30 bucks, whatever it is. But you get it one time. You never have to worry about it again. And he's going to walk you through the entire process. We will teach you everything that you need to know on how to set all of it up. Okay, I'm going to teach some of it. Cameron's going to teach some of it. You get all the training that's included here. You can do all that stuff. But I'm telling you right now, watching him do it is wildly different from hearing us tell you how to do it. Watching him do it is a lot different than me going through this, right? I could go through this and teach you how to, the process, but for you to actually go in there and take this and then turn this into a sales page, an upsell page, a downsell page, a delivery page, a membership site, a WordPress theme, plugins, everything else, for you to turn this into that's a leap. But when you're watching him do it from start to finish, that's worth its weight in gold, okay? And that's what our high-ticket students do when we do launches with them, okay? We don't do anything for them. All we do is let them watch us. And they just repeat the process. Because if we do it all for them, then what the hell's the point? They're not going to learn anything, right? We want them to learn while we do it. So Cameron is there setting up a membership site, and they're watching over his shoulder, doing it as he's doing it on their own computer. I'm going through the copy process. We just did this yesterday with a guy. I'm going through the copy process, asking all kinds of questions about the person, about their background, about what they did for a living in the past, or how much money they made in the past, how they grew up, where they grew up, what their family life was like. And I'm telling them why I'm asking all these questions and how it all relates to the story that I'm going to tell when I write copy for them or when I script out a video for them, whatever, because I want them to learn the process. Okay, it's very, very important that you learn the process. Right? We don't want to just do it and then have you not learn anything. So when you go through the video with Cameron, it's going to be long. He might even break it up into a couple different videos. I don't know. But when you go through that process with him, you're going to have the ability to create sales funnels that are 100% automated, that you never have to touch again, that have brought us in hundreds of thousands of dollars. As you saw on the sales video for this product, hundreds of thousands of dollars just over the past few months alone, okay? And they've been working for us for a very, very long time, and they work for all of my offline clients as well. Same thing, same exact thing, no different. Doesn't matter what you're selling, right? Same thing, and you guys will be able to set them up within a few hours after watching his video. Right? It really is not going to take you that long. There's no training out there like it, and you'll be up and running in a couple minutes. And again, I just want to say, before we end off this video, because this is part 1 of the course. I know there's a buy button below this, but this is video training number 1. There's a lot of training here. There's a lot of good information here that you guys need to know in order to proceed. So don't just ignore this as it's an OTO video. This is a training video with an option for you to upgrade if you want to at the end of it, all right? Before I leave, though, I just want to leave you with this. All of this stuff you've already purchased the training is already there. All right, it's already there. What you bought is quote-unquote good enough. But if you're not satisfied with good enough, if you're not satisfied with, if you want to cut your learning curve down from a month or 2 weeks to a couple hours, Cameron's video series is where you need to be. I mean, that's just where you need to be, because you're going to be writing customer support, us, back and forth all the time. You're not going to know what to do. You're going to be searching online for YouTube videos. You're going to be searching online for answers to your questions. He has all the answers in the video series. That's what you need to get. All right, so click the buy button below. It's only a couple dollars more. Click the buy button below. Get the extra training. You'll be happy you did. And that's it. And I'm going to see you coming up next in video number 2.